Welcome back to From the Pages of WCW Wrestling Wrap Up, the May 1990 issue. This is one of those issues where you can feel the company tightening its focus and aiming everything at a single target, and that target is Capital Combat. Before you even settle into the magazine, WCW hits you with the full page push for return of RoboCop, laying out the date, May 19th, the broadcast windows across the country, and that $14.95 price point, making it crystal clear that this is not just another event, this is the event, and everything you're about to read is meant to build anticipation, tension, and urgency for that night. The editor's corner comes in hot and never lets up, firing off storyline developments like a rapid sequence of headlines that all connect back to that same destination. Sid Vicious is front and center early, recovering from a punctured lung suffered months earlier, and instead of playing into sympathy, the tone around him is cold and dismissive. He acknowledges that Teddy Long honored his contract while he was injured, but then pivots quickly, saying he wants to go in a different direction, and more importantly, telling the magazine not to forward any more get well cards or letters because he will not read them and will not respond. It's a small detail, but it sets the tone for how this issue handles its personalities. Everything has an edge. Everything feels just a little more aggressive than you might expect. Then the magazine delivers one of its most memorable twists with the Samoan SWAT team, revealing that they were never actually unable to speak English. Instead, they had been pretending the entire time, listening to everything fans were saying about them, understanding every insult, every chant, every reaction, and now openly mocking the audience for it. That revelation reframes their entire presentation, turning what was once a character quirk into a calculated act of deception, and the magazine leans into it with that mocking tone, emphasizing how much they now despise the fans. The tag team division is positioned as a major battleground heading into Capital Combat, with Flyin Brian and the Z-Man described as stepping into the biggest challenge of their careers against the Midnight Express. The wording here matters because the Midnight Express are not just trying to win. They are framed as wanting to embarrass their opponents in front of millions, to tear them down publicly to prove they do not belong. That idea of humiliation as much as victory runs throughout the issue, and it adds a layer of intensity to even the standard match build-ups. Kevin Sullivan's involvement in the issue continues to blur the line between serious and surreal, as he talks about Norman's mysterious Boogie Man with complete sincerity, saying he has been waiting his whole life to meet him and is eager to prove he is not afraid. That feeds directly into the darker tone that comes with Mean Mark Callis, who is presented as a dangerous force thanks to his use of the heart punch. The magazine doesn't treat this as just another move. It builds it up as something feared, something historically banned, something tied to legends like Oxbaker and Stan Stasiak, and even hints at its supposed lethality, giving Callis an aura that goes beyond a typical newcomer and into something almost mythic. As the issue continues, more pieces fall into place. Bam Bam Bigelow returns from Japan and is immediately labeled a human time bomb, suggesting unpredictability and destruction. Barry Windham is mentioned as a looming presence, signaling potential chaos on the horizon. Eddie Gilbert's ongoing frustrations are highlighted through a very specific and memorable incident where he is blindsided with a pineapple by Samu during an interview, and the magazine makes sure to note that Gilbert is just as angry at Jim Cornette for setting it up as he is at Samu for carrying it out. These kinds of details give the issue texture and make the feuds feel personal and grounded even within all the larger-than-life elements. The Cornette storyline continues to provide a mix of humor and character work as his mounting fines lead WCW management to send a collection letter to his mother, who ultimately pays it, reinforcing his image as both obnoxious and oddly protected. The magazine uses this moment to poke fun at him, even referencing his upbringing in a way that paints him as spoiled, adding another layer to his on-screen persona. The editor's corner closes with a strong push toward the world title picture, with the editor suggesting that Lex Luger could win the championship at any moment, even before the pay-per-view. That prediction adds urgency and unpredictability, making it feel like history could happen at any time, not just on the big stage. From there, the issue shifts into more character-driven material, starting with Rick Steiner and his unseen advisor, Alex. The magazine treats this as both legitimate and absurd, explaining that only Rick can hear Alex, while the crowd embraces it by chanting his name whenever Steiner is in trouble. Other wrestlers respond in character, with some mocking the idea, and others dismissing Steiner entirely, creating a blend of humor and storytelling that feels uniquely tied to this era. Then comes the centerpiece of spectacle, Sting and RoboCop. Sting addresses his fans directly, acknowledging his injury and the threats made by the Horsemen, while promising he will return stronger and ready to confront them. The introduction of RoboCop as his ally pushes the issue into a different kind of territory, one where wrestling and pop culture collide in a way that is presented completely straight. RoboCop delivers warnings to the Horsemen, positioning himself as an enforcer on Sting's side, and the magazine treats it as a legitimate escalation, not a novelty. The surreal tone continues with Norman's storyline involving Abdullah the Butcher, where Norman genuinely believes Abdullah is the Boogie Man. The magazine leans into this, fully describing Norman's perspective in detail, including his belief that a voodoo doll is actually a teddy bear meant to protect against bad people. At the same time, it acknowledges Abdullah's chaotic behavior, creating a strange balance between innocence and danger that runs through the entire segment. Lex Luger's promo stands out as one of the clearest statements of intent in the issue, as he describes Ric Flair's reign as a disease, Flair-itis, and positions himself as the cure. He frames his physique and determination as the answer, declaring that it is now his time, reinforcing his role as the challenger poised to take control of the company's top spot. The magazine continues to engage readers with additional promotional elements, including the Wrestling Hotline advertisement featuring Sting and RoboCop, encouraging fans to call in for exclusive content. Tony Schiavone's return is also highlighted, presenting him as an experienced voice who brings credibility and continuity to WCW programming. The breakdown of the Capital Combat card serves as the central pillar of the issue, with Flair versus Luger in a steel cage framed as the match fans demanded and one that could redefine the company. The magazine goes as far as predicting Luger will leave with the championship, adding weight to the build. The rest of the card is presented with equal importance, from the Steiners defending their titles against Doom, to the Midnight Express challenging for tag gold, to the chaotic six-man match involving Norman, the Road Warriors, and Sullivan's group, along with the hair versus hair match between Teddy Long and Paul Ellering, and the Rock and Roll Express facing the Freebirds. By the final pages, including action photography and the subscription order form, the purpose of the issue is fully realized. This is not a neutral publication. It is a focused promotional tool designed to build excitement, establish narratives, and drive viewers toward Capital Combat. Every story, every feature, and every detail feeds into that goal, presenting WCW as a dynamic, unpredictable, and rapidly evolving landscape where anything can happen and where that anything is about to unfold on May 19th. See ya next time. Farewell from the Empire State.